What's up, YouTube? It's August 18th, 2019, and in about 20 minutes, the first part of the Satoshi Nakamoto reveal will start or happen, will be revealed. So yeah, I wanted to talk in this video about who is Satoshi Nakamoto and all the different theories I've heard over the years on who Satoshi Nakamoto is, and yeah, so let's get into it. The first one I want to talk about is not a very popular one, and that is that it's Craig Wright. It's looking less and less likely with this court case, but I did want to touch on that. So I was fortunate enough to go out to dinner with a very prominent person in the crypto space. He's a lead developer of a big project that I don't want to mention the coin or the person's name because I didn't ask permission to repeat what I'm about to say, but he met up with Phil Wilson. I'll link his interview with the Daily Exchange in the video below, and he thought there might have been something to the whole story that Satoshi is Craig Wright, David Kleinman, and Phil Wilson, a combination of the three of them. And that was before the whole court case really got going, so in light of all the new information, I would be surprised if he still feels that that's a possibility. And he only thought that was a possibility. He didn't believe that with 100% certainty. But yeah, he thought there might have been something to that. So I always kept that option open in my mind. But I've just, seen a lot of other people give a lot of good reasons on why Craig, mainly because he's forged documents and hasn't moved any funds. So yeah, I don't think it's Craig Wright. Anyway, the next one I want to talk about is there's a really good video Chico Crypto put out. I'll also link that in the description, where he goes through like the top 5 people he thinks Satoshi Nakamoto is. And we'll just go through those real quick. So number 1's Hal Finney. Hal Finney invented proof of work and had direct communications with Satoshi, and he I don't know, I think he received some coins from Satoshi. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I think Hal Finney definitely played a part, but I don't think he was Satoshi. Obviously, he invented proof of work, which was a precursor to it. So, and he had direct communication with Satoshi. But I think Chico Crypto is right that it isn't Hal. But next, let's mention Dorian Nakamoto. So. First of all, this reveal coming up makes me pretty skeptical, since we've been told we've had some fake news in the past when it comes to Satoshi Nakamoto. The media was convinced it was Dorian Nakamoto, and that all came out. I do find it interesting, though, that Dorian Nakamoto and Hal Finney were neighbors or lived in the same neighborhood. So that's a little interesting, but yeah, apparently Dorian has nothing to do with it, unless maybe he inspired the pseudonym, and it really is Hal or something, but I doubt it. So potentially the reveal will be something similar to the Dorian Nakamoto or the Craig Wright thing. Again, when the news first hit about Craig Wright, the news made it sound like they knew who Satoshi was and said that it was Craig, which is coming out to not be true with this court case. So yeah, wouldn't be the first time we've been told we knew who Satoshi Nakamoto was, and turned out not to be the case. Number 4 is Nick Szabo. Nick Szabo invented BitGold and wrote the Theory of Collectibles. Again, for more information on this, definitely check out Chico Crypto's video. I'll link it down below. I find all this very fascinating. He didn't think it was Nick. Because I think the programming language Nick was familiar with wasn't the same as Satoshi used. And for that reason, he concluded that it would be either Wei Dai or Rong Chen, or a combination of the two, as his most likely picks for who Satoshi Nakamoto is, since they both use the same language, C++, I believe. And so that I really respect Chico Crypto, and I think that might be a really good possibility on who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Rong Chen or Wei Dai, or a combination of the two. So that covers number 5 and 6. Number 7 I have down is David Schwartz from Ripple. I don't think it's him. A friend of mine said that John McAfee tweeted that it was David Schwartz. I actually need to look for the tweet myself to confirm that, but yeah, I saw some videos on YouTube floating around with people saying that it was David Schwartz. Very possible, but I just have no evidence to support why, but possible. Next one's a bit out there, but I find this theory very fascinating. Bix Weir, like I mentioned in my last video, I respect his work a lot, and he has an interesting theory that Satoshi Nakamoto is actually Alan Greenspan. So how crazy would that be? It all ties into his Road to Ruta theory. It has to do with Alan Greenspan wanting to return us to a gold standard, and he realized that we wouldn't be able to return to a gold standard, so he invented Bitcoin. And Alan Greenspan was computer programmer and from back in the 60s, and is computer genius, and pretty much invented the whole current monetary system we have. So yeah, could be, and even if it is some of these other people mentioned, or none of these people, how do we know that, or say whoever it comes out to be revealed here in the next couple days, whoever they say it is, how do we know that it really ends there, and that they weren't actually working for someone and there's someone above them? So even if the person, sorry about that, got a phone call, even if it is, even if the person is able to prove that they created the Genesis block in the white paper, you still don't know if they're working for someone or under someone's instructions or directions. So I think there's a Bob Dylan song about that. Gotta serve somebody. Everybody's gotta serve somebody, right? So, but yeah. I find the whole Alan Greenspan theory really interesting. Check out Bix Weir's work on that. I kind of want that to be the case, but it seems like kind of a stretch. So, but very interesting theory. Next. All right, now this one I find really interesting. And I guess this name came out because of the court case with Craig Wright and David Kleinman's family. So there's another gentleman claiming to be Satoshi, sorry if I mess up the name, Debo Jurgen Etienne Guido. Apparently he has written testimony and submitted it to the judge that he is Satoshi and created the white paper and the Genesis block. So that's really interesting. I'll link a video from I think it was Cryptocurrency Australia. Anyway, I'll link the video below. I found that one very interesting. And I remember a while back there was a video I watched with Sonny Decree, where he also mentioned someone potentially being Satoshi because of the court case with Craig. He didn't get much into it in the video, so I need to do some more in-depth research on it. But I guess it's a Paul Salachi. S-O-L-O-T-S-H-I, Paul Salachi. Don't know who that is or how his name got brought up in the court case, but I like Sonny Decree. Check out his channel, and yeah, so I got to do further research on this myself. I'm going to be covering this story as it progresses. I find the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto very interesting. Who wouldn't? He only invented the most revolutionary technology since, I don't know, the internet. Let's see. I also find the timing of all this very interesting. You got the Craig Wright's court case wrapping up, and you got, you know, if you look at my last video where I talk about a reset or a stock market crash coming. You know, we had some big drop in the stock market the other day. I just find the timing of all this really interesting. Like if Bix says, if the good guys are in control, it's like why now? Why, you know, maybe Satoshi couldn't reveal himself while all the bad guys had power, and now that the good guys have power, now he feels he could come out. Maybe it is Alan Greenspan, and we'll have a huge stock market crash and bond bubble burst that's about to happen. And you know, the switch that I was talking about in my last video, the reset to a different monetary system could happen, and Alan Greenspan needs to come out and tell us it was him, and and tell us where we're going from here. And yeah, anyway, oh yeah, also the last thing I wanted to mention is in my first video I mentioned that a lot of the Bitcoin maximalists criticize Litecoin for having a central figure because we know Charlie Lee's identity. Well, if this comes out and it's true that this person is Satoshi, well, then we'll now know Satoshi's identity. And Charlie Lee sold all his Litecoin, and Satoshi still has a bunch of his Bitcoin. So that might make Litecoin more decentralized in regards to that central figure argument. So really interesting. Speaking of Charlie Lee, he had a tweet saying that he thinks this is most likely going to be fraudulent, and that unless he signs a message, then it's most likely fraudulent. So check it out. Look at Charlie Lee's tweet. Check out all the videos that I link in the description, and we'll keep you posted on what comes out of all this. And hope everyone has a wonderful day. Much love and peace.